What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back finally to give you guys what you guys hopefully have been wanting, our thoughts on the finale of Moon Knight, no longer being considered a mini series, but saying quote unquote season one. So this is the season finale of Moon Knight season one. And I have here co-host here, Ant Gold himself. What's going on, bro?
I'm Ant Gold. I'm happy. I'm here. We finally doing this, man. I understand I had to slumber, I had to find a new avatar, but here I am. How are you?
Dude, the last time they seen us, I didn't even have this hairstyle. They probably like he done grew his hair out. And like it don't even make sense of what's going on. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. A lot of this is gonna be a refresher because I've seen several other shows and several other seasons of different shows. So we're gonna be kind of recounting some of this, but we're gonna go and make sure it's really brief. So the last thing that we saw from um, episode 5 was Mark and Steven basically separated. Like Mark in eternal bliss and Steven just stuck there. And it was kind of like what happens from here. And then without a hitch, it immediately shows the transition of Mark just could not live with himself, leaving Steven behind. I was gonna ask you about that on a subconscious level. Like, if you know that that's another part of you, but it's really not like it's still technically you, but it's just another one of your psychological profiles. Would you really care or would you let go? Because I wonder if he couldn't let go of Steven because Steven represented the thing that kept him sane or protected him. But really, didn't he couldn't he have just left it behind ultimately?
Well, I think there to him, he's a real person, right? So
Right.
it'd be like you leaving your twin brother behind, or you
That's what it kind
leaving,
of feels like. Yeah.
and ultimately it depends on what they're saying with this, right? So souls are not covered in DSM-5. But you can take it as a couple ways. You can take it as a separate soul inside of one body, or you can take
Right.
it as it's just a piece of his soul that got separated, cut off. And if you cut off a part of yourself, your arm, and threw it away, you'd miss that arm, right? You'd ache. You'd have a phantom pain for that arm. But I think ultimately we always thought, because this show started, we thought of Mark as the protector and the strong one,
Mm-hmm.
but really, it was Steven's been his shield.
Right.
Steven's been his one taking, letting him get through life and step by step. And we saw how Steven even protected him on the boat, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
changed up his skill set a little bit to keep Mark safe. So if we're still going with Mark as the prime, right?
Right.
Um, Now, if you told me I had to give up quote unquote heaven and I might be stuck in the sand for eternity, I mean, shoot, you will always be free in my heart. hey, I hear heaven don't got a memory, so we can, we, I
I
don't know
mean,
if I'm going back. I don't know if I'm going back.
that's the thing, because like he didn't know going back for Steven was gonna guarantee that they could get out of it. He went back, it's like, well, I'm gonna, pay my dues with you, so to speak. Because honestly, they could have both just been stuck there.
I've heard people say I follow you into hell, but I never hear people say I'm gonna leave heaven to follow you into hell. Like I'm never, that's a different type of loyalty. That's a different type of loyalty. But my major issue with this was we got this heartbreaking "You're lost in the forever time" sands, and then the very next episode, psych, like the very next episode we kind of I felt like that was some Disney exec coming in going, yeah, but how'd you get him back? We got one more episode. How do we get him back? But no, we don't get him back. He's gone. No.
Right.
This is Disney Plus.
Right.
we gotta have this happy ending. And
Yeah.
don't come at me, Disney, because I praised you last episode. I praised you the episode before that, but this one kind of if you binge watch this whole series, be like, no, okay, I guess it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right. But we looked
So
at it like week to week, dissecting it. And I think you're right, because we find out later on that there was another entity inside of Mark. And I mean, we knew that it was kind of a possibility because it was just a lot of different moments where we couldn't account for stuff. And I guess it brings us to this moment right here where your boy is kind of chilling, and Harold thought he was good. He was like, "Oh, okay, wait, what are you doing here, can't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, you." Mark thought that I wanted this girl. I never wanted her. He's so much more twisted than he even realized. And so the moment that they showed that, and then Harold gets killed by the other entity, you immediately realize that's the most vicious version of Mark's psychological profile. But the weird thing is, I was kind of like, what would have been more interesting is that entity fighting as well. How is it possible, right, that Steven and Mark made it out, but we never saw the other version of themselves fighting to try to preserve themselves as well? We knew for a fact it was the other whatchamacallit, coffin. That was definitely the other version. But the weirder thing for me was like, okay, why is it that they didn't allow Mark to be like, no, you can't go into the next beyond because there's something else back in between. Like you're stuck in purgatory because there's a third version of y'all. To me, that would have made the most sense because you're like, oh, wait, is he still connected? Can he go through the gate? If so, then all right, cool. And then Mark follows suit, and he's thinking it's Steven, right? And I'm just writing this out for you guys. He's thinking that Steven that is still alive. He goes and tries to get to the gate, and he sees this other person that he has no idea who they are. They get to they get back to life. But now instead of Steven being there, he's got this vicious, malicious version of himself that he has to cope with. And he doesn't have a lot of time because he's got to stop what Harold's trying to do. I think that would have made more sense. It's cool. I like the end cut scene. I love the end cut scene personally. But we never get to see any of the things he's done this whole entire season. This whole entire season, he's supposed to have the most vicious things that he did. And Disney never let us see anything he actually really did. We knew he killed all the different people in terrible ways, but I don't know, they kind of, to me, they shot themselves in the foot. They could have made an emotionally resonant moment where Mark loses Steven, but he gains something far worse, but he has to take responsibility of that entity as well. Instead, they kind of like, oh, Steven's still here. We go through happy-go-lucky. Oh, wait, there's still more. And I don't know. I don't know how you felt about the third entity and how they handled them, but
So I never thought about that before, but I think you're right. I think maybe the one thing that might give us a pass, because there could be multiple personalities, like a plethora of personalities inside that sane asylum. Uh, but I think because those were locked up during the time, like he actually found Steven and brought Steven out that room, right? So I think Steven was with him. Like I said, it's going to clear how they're treating the personalities, if there's their own souls or whether it's just dysfunction within present in who he is right now. And then when you introduce, you get a little stinger with the other Jake, is that what they were saying? Jake. I don't know. I felt like he should have his own theme song, like Stan Smith's Bully, like Stelio Cantos. That's how he bullied Harold right there. I think there's a lot to go with it, but I think they missed an emotional beat. And later on, you could always went back and got Steven, right? Like with a God's help of something, or they had to visit that kind of plane of existence before. You could have gone back. But then again, that's what they planning for this to be a season of like multiple seasons, or were they just like, this is just a series, a mini series? You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're only planning for a mini series, then okay, we're not going to leave Steven stuck in purgatory forever. But if you're planning seasons, maybe they would have been bolder. I just think that when you take death off the board and you take like the eternity of whatever happens to souls off the board, then the stakes again works right now, but the future, how are you going to write stakes that I believe? You know what I mean? Like, how are you going to write consequences? They're going to have to all be emotional consequences or situational consequences outside of him. I don't know what puts him in danger now. He didn't need a God's help to go get a soul. Get get Steven from the sands. It was just them together. So yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, he technically died. He died, and came back with just his multiple personalities without the help of Khonshu.
Yeah. And
like,
rested his soul from eternal not damnation, but those sands, those freezing sands, which you're supposed to be stuck in with forever. Like again, there's no physical threat. Mentally, you can do anything, and also now you can fly. So I don't know what the I don't know what the stakes are. I am trying my hardest to, because I do like this series, this miniseries season or whatever, is very much worth watching. Like I would recommend this to anybody worth watching. But these endings, they get kind of rough. They get kind of rough. They're hard for me to stand behind, because right after that we see him go. Oh no! So can't you? Is that what I'm supposed to say? You still there? Oh man, I'm by myself. Do I finally rule JVS? My plan has come to fruition. Now I shall crush all you other YouTubers and fans. That was my evil monologue. I don't really have anything to do. I'm just trying to fill up time because I'm not sure what happened to Sam. So,
no, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
So Khonshu is getting his butt kicked by the other entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And until he hears that Marc's back, and he's like, "Whoa! All right, back to my boy." And he gets all his Moon Knight powers, right? And then he goes, "How are we gonna get there? I am the god of night, right?" He's like, "Yeah, okay. Oh, we can fly." Like that came out of, why are you jumping rooftop to rooftop? Like it'd have been okay if a different personality could fly. Like if a third personality could fly, I'll be all right with that. You know, but come on, come on. Like it was a lot for me. That was a lot for me. And then we have another possession with your favorite character of the series.
Oh Lord, I know who you're talking about. So look, I don't know. I'm just put her up here.
Look at that! Look. Falcon became obsolete in 1 year. He didn't even get a whole 12 months that somebody stole his shot. So, apparently, people of color, we get lightning powers and wings. That's our new thing.
Bro, look, first off, I assume she can fly with them gosh darn wings. She got super strength, she's got agility, and also she's got daggers as well. I don't really know what her code name was, but she's strong. I mean, it was dope to see her and Marc go at it against Harrow, but it was jarring to me to watch them go up against Harrow because we ain't seen Harrow fight this entire season.
I was like, did Harrow always do this? Could the staff always do this thing? Like, did he always have this power? See, this is the issue. This is the issue. And we have poorly defined powers in this series. We have poorly defined villain capabilities, because he did the thing with judging his souls with the touch thing, and that was creepy, but you didn't really utilize it the rest of the series. And then he's just using his staff to judge people, and I'm guessing he got that from when they released the god. I'm guessing.
I'm assuming that she picked him as her vessel, and that's what enabled him to go to the levels that he was at. Because technically, he was taking folks' souls just off a rip. And I felt like at this point, he hadn't even woke her up yet, right?
No, you're right.
With just the staff. So
yeah, so
I mean, I really don't know. And then after that, she picked him as her avatar because he felt like he wasn't worthy of that. Honestly, as far as Harold the character, this is the only emotion and I guess, motivation that we got the entire season with just him. And I'm not talking about the doctor version of Harrow because that's far superior version.
Far superior villain.
Um,
Antagonist.
but with this, I was kind of like, okay, we're going somewhere. Oh, wait, no, Marvel fight. CGI, Marvel fight all the way. And we knew, we said it. We said it last episode. We were like, you know it's going to happen, right? You're like, no, they're going to keep it grounded. Nope, it's going to happen. Daggone Khonshu out there, gigantic, fighting in the sands.
That's the other thing. We went from Khonshu being able to only like blow wind and not really affect the physical world to him knocking over cars with the staff, turning into kaiju and stuff. That was not needed. It wasn't needed. And it wasn't set up. It was set up that he couldn't do this stuff. But going back to Harold did have one moment that I actually really respected. So beginning of the season when he first showed him and he was like judging people's souls, I was like, all right, he can have some potential, but they didn't do anything with it. But this moment when he was like, when the God judged him and she was like, you're unbalanced or something like that. And he was like, yeah, I thought that all my good works might have done penance, but I knew it might not. I'm ready. Judge me. You already got a network set up of people who are worthy. I already made sure of that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of got to respect his conviction. You know what I mean? Like he ain't trying to get out of it. He ain't trying to say, but I served you well or anything. He was like, no, you know what? I know I might get murked. I know I'm not really all that worthy. I hope maybe I did some stuff to make it out, but look, but everything's all set up for you. All the numbers on this telephone on speed dial, like go, like So I did respect that moment, but like he didn't get a costume. He was, I didn't know what he could do, and I didn't know what of a danger he was. But he was taking on 2 avatars, so I don't know. I didn't care.
It really didn't make any sense though. If I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I mean, it was cool to watch, but I don't even understand these two because low key, Khonshu could have beat her from Rip too. Like
I don't understand it. But they killed all the other avatars. They killed all the other avatars too. So
yeah, she single-handedly killed all the other avatars with Harrow, and yet Khonshu beat some. I really didn't understand. And I felt like that's the Disney side of this. I'm like, why pave the way for this crocodile lady the entire season? And no. So she was possessed inside of him. And so they were like, okay, Mark made the decision not to kill her for whatever reason. And, Khonshu kind of let it be like, okay, I'll let you free. You're free. Then all for Khonshu to be like, nah, yeah, we're actually gonna murk Harrow and her. Sorry, gunshot, they're dead, supposedly. So I don't know. It was just it was weird.
It's supposed to be like Mark's hero moment of not capping him, but no, you gotta cap him. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily get how capping him kills the guy. Someone explained to me that the other avatars are just avatars of their power, while if she's inside him, if he dies, she dies. I guess, but then that doesn't explain why Leela. Am I saying Leela? No, who's New Falcon?
Layla. Yeah,
she was doing the whole Mark thing. Was talking with the hippo's voice too. I mean, like, and going back and forth. So was she possessed? Like, I don't.
So they did say with that she's gonna temporarily possess her. With the situation with Harrow, it was like she submitted him to be her avatar, but then they found a way of bringing her fully into him. That was, okay. I guess, that was the thing that Khonshu did. I don't know how they made that work. It doesn't really make any sense. But I mean, I guess. Well, I'm gonna ask this question: how does the Panther God work in tandem with the Black Panther? Does that make sense? How does that work?
That's So I only know a few stories with Bass. I know they worship her. I think that it's I typically think that Bass is always reserved to her. I think so. It's been a minute since I've read it. But they have a room where they can connect with Bass. And because I remember there's one story where Doom comes to Wakanda and they're like, they're like trying to decide what to do and whether to trust him. So they put him in the room with Bass, and then Bass like talks to him and she's like, nope, he can't be judged. And they were like, wow, because in Doom's mind, he's a good guy. They looked like, I think him and Bass, like all the multiple personality, like all the multiple futures and a few futures where humanity and the world survives, most of them are under Doom's rule against everybody. And Sebastian's like, I can't judge him. Like Doom is technically the good guy here. Which I kind of love about Doom. I think they'll never really translate to the comics. To the MCU very well.
They never will.
But yeah, that's their connection. So they have a spiritual connection to her, but it's not like she's the Avatar. I think there was a theory at one point that her, along with the vibranium, mutated the plants that Black Panther eats.
Intake.
But I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, because
but you see the picture. She shows up in Love and Thunder. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how that works. And please don't have our African. I'm not our African god, but don't have an African god being submitted, like sitting underneath some Asgardian gods or doing some please.
Look, you better give your hopes up on that and not even look at the movie because you know it's gonna happen. But I'll say this about the season: like, episode 5 was still amazing. I thought that this was gonna go the way that it went. I still found this episode to be entertaining. I'm curious, like you said, that if they knew that this was going to be a miniseries, then everything they did made sense, and why it felt so rushed. But now I think probably what happened was they got greenlit for another season. They wanted to do more, kind of like the Loki situation, because initially Loki was only supposed to be a miniseries. I hope they do the same thing with Obi-Wan, to be honest, but that's for another story. And I think that they wrote themselves into a room because of that. Because to me, it would have been better if they made this like 8 episodes. If they would have drew it out a little bit more, because after 5, they really should have let their time to breathe. Like, I would have liked to see Mark suffer for a little bit longer without Steven, dealing with the ramifications. Layla dealing with the ramifications of Mark being gone, now him being back, but him being completely different. And there is no Steven. Steven died on Mark's watch, something like that. And then her having to make a choice like, oh man, now I have to submit myself under the same thing. What does that mean? And before we get to a whole attack, because all in one episode, she got possessed, she got powers, got a new avatar. We found out that there's a third entity inside of Mark and Steven. They made it out some kind of astonishing way. Harrow got possessed. Khonshu came back. Khonshu fought Harrow's avatar. All in one episode. And that was, I don't know why Marvel always does this with their endings and with their shows. It doesn't always have to be like this.
Also, Marvel, it's great. Representation is great. I'm glad you got an Egyptian superhero. You don't need to pat yourself on the back. You don't need a kid going, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" Like just let her be a superhero. We just want to be superheroes. We don't want to be called. We just want to be superheroes. Like everybody, you don't have to pat yourself on the back. Just tell the story. This was a lot, and I felt like I haven't been a fan of how they directed the climactic fights or resolutions. In this, I didn't like the gang in Hawkeye, the goofy cartoonish gang that worked for the Penguin. I thought the Penguin, Kingpin. That was kind of disappointing to me. I think that Marvel shows are having a little bit of issue, like the Marvel movies was having, with getting a villain. To getting some really substantial villain that you feel like there's some stakes and some danger. And while Isaac, say his name, Oscar Isaac. I think his performance carries the show to being worthy to watch. This is, if you're a fan of just acting, you want to watch this series. You know what I mean? And so I would highly recommend it. But I think y'all need to tighten up these enders and let things breathe. Everything doesn't need an answer right now. You know what I mean? I don't think Harrow's dead because I think that'd be a waste of the character, and he's also possessed by a god, so I'm not sure what a bullet does. But you've ended 2 shows with stingers of major bad guys getting shot in the face. Apparently, it's okay. It's okay. Disney, you are great at killing villains. Y'all been doing it in Disney movies for years. Y'all hung a guy in Tarzan. You can come up with some imaginative deaths for villains that kind of take place off screen. You've done it. Scar got eaten.
By the daggone hyenas that were laughing the whole entire movie.
Right.
So, but this is the thing, and I think you touched on this is my final thought on this whole thing. The fact is that Harrow, as Harrow himself, to me was a weak to poor villain. He's the weakest villain that I've seen from the TV series thus far, and that's a lot saying because, I mean, I don't really look at Agent, was it Agent USA, U.S. Agent America, whatever Russell Crowe's son code name was for Falcon and Soldier. I don't look at him as the villain. I mean, I look at the whole entire thing was bad circumstances in general, so I don't really even count that as.
Kurt Russell's son. You mean Kurt Russell, right?
Yeah, Wyatt Russell.
Oh, okay. You said Russell Crowe. I was like Russell Crowe.
Yeah. But I'm saying that for this to me feels like the weakest villain, and
by far.
Let's put this for an extent. Say, Khonshu was like, "Hey, I need to go back in time real quick. I got to go get a villain. I need to go get somebody that can take care of the situation." He just decides. Mark's like, "Wait, where are we going?" Well, actually, I need to go visit a person named Kilgrave. He's eccentric, but he'll do the trick. Kilgrave legitimately just could take out anybody that's in this show with his voice, and nobody would be able to stop him at all.
It's not even just power. It's Kilgrave had power, but also it was his unpredictable, like almost childlike demeanor that was scary. It was terrifying. Kilgrave was a villain. There's villains that you love to hate. There's villains that scare you. There are villains that are charismatic that you just love, but you know they're wrong. You know what I mean? There's certain types of villains that just compel you. And I'm sorry for majority of comicdom, a hero is only as good as the villain you give. Right? A hero themselves can only go so far. If Batman doesn't have Joker, if Batman doesn't have his pantheon, he doesn't reach the heights that we know Batman to have reached. You know what I mean? So look at that Kilgrave, man. Kilgrave, Kingpin, they nailed it. They nailed them as villains. And they really haven't reached the heights of them in the Disney Plus era. I'm trying to think, but I can't see anybody that comes close. And matter of fact, I would say Kingpin was kind of downgraded to like almost a cartoon villain at that in Hawkeye, which was a little I mean, he did fine if you don't compare it to the Daredevil series, but.
Yeah, it's weird to say, like, in the 2 episodes that he was in, he's far superior than, what we've seen from the regular Disney stuff. But if you've ever seen Daredevil, or even, like, I mean, just taking him in prison and having a conversation with Frank Castle and unapologetically afraid, like it's a very different tone. And that's one of the things that I'm worried about moving forward with some of these other shows, because Miss Marvel is not going to convince me of anything. I'm not really excited for that show, but I'm intrigued what they're going to do with that character. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about She-Hulk because I love the Hulk, but I'm scared because I don't know what the tone is going to be. I don't know what the purpose is going to be.
And I've seen what they done to Hawk. So
right, like it'd be one thing if I knew that the next Avengers movie was going to be a World War Hulk situation. Then yeah, bruh, color me red. I'm here for it. But that's not what they're doing. So I don't know, man. this was one of the ones I was like, okay, if y'all nailed this, I'm excited. They nailed Loki to me. I really like Loki, but I don't know if that was more so Jonathan Majors and Tom Hiddleston or or what. But I don't know. What's your first take, final thoughts on this season, and then moving forward with whatever Disney's coming up with?
So with this season, when we talked about the Kingpin and stuff like that, and even Kilgrave, Jessica Jones season 1 and Daredevil season 1, especially Daredevil season 1, felt like it was also Kingpin season 1. You know what I mean? Like you followed their stories. Kilgrave, when he was teased and introduced, it felt like you were following his thing too. You know what I mean? So they had time to build them up, show us why they're a foil to the character or why they're, a danger to the character, and then going on. This one, and it seems like you wasted a good actor. So maybe you have plans for them in the future that you can pull out. I don't know, but I'm not gonna see Harrow and be like, "Oh, that's Harrow." I'm excited. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, Harrow. I guess Harrow's about." You know what I mean? Like it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling. Now, if Kilgrave shows back up at a Marvel series, like, "Oh crap, Kilgrave," I'm gonna get excited. I think that again, I don't want to act like a hater. I praised almost every episode of this show. You know what I mean? Like I think I praised every episode of this show except for this episode.
Yeah, you did.
Going forward, you're gonna have to invest in a worthy opponent and show us some stakes. Going forward with She-Hulk, reports I hear so far is like I've heard, like I think I saw a statement from Mark Ruffalo saying he's passing the title of Hulk on to her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Hulk isn't a title; it's who he is. I feel like Marvel kind of dropped the ball with Hulk after he was such a fan favorite in the first. Like he carried a lot of like the first couple of Avengers movies. Like he was such a staple of those movies, and I think they just kind of let the ball kind of drop with him. Even given his most interesting story in the last couple of decades, where Hulk kind of merging that with Thor's story, which the Hulk going off, but that could have been a whole like Avengers saga is dealing with the Hulk, like or Maestro or something like that. I think Miss Marvel. I know some people that are excited about it. I think one of the things I like is that in comics, every comic isn't for everybody. So you can have a power pack, you can have a Midnight Suns, you can have an X-Men, but you can also have a grittier Wolverine. Go for it. I don't know about her power change, but if she works, if she speaks to some people, I'm all for it, Marvel. Go for it. I hope they put America Chavez with her at some point, and they form their own little thing, and I hope it's successful. But also don't forget there's other fans that want some other stuff too. You know what I mean? We want some stuff. Let Moon Knight be gritty. Daredevil was already on Disney Plus. Let Moon Knight get gritty. Let us go full blast with this thing and let everybody have their thing. Probably recommend the season. I'm gonna watch. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, Marvel. Well, you got my money. I've been a fan for 40 years. You got my money. But I want to see this thing grow. I want to see it keep growing, keep being strong.
Yeah. That concludes our discussion. Hope you guys enjoyed our reviews in the past 6 weeks. We have coming up, I think the next thing is Obi-Wan. I don't know how it's gonna be.
Look, I'm ignoring the leaks. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, sorry, I meant after you. I got excited.
Oh no, I didn't even know about the Darren leak. I'm going into this without any expectations. I only keeping in my head that Hayden Christensen is back and Ewan McGregor is back as their respective characters. I'm not putting any other expectations in this. I think they've already confirmed that Darth Maul is not in this. I think that's because the actor got himself in trouble. But
really?
Yeah, I'll talk to you that. I'll tell you about that offline. But good.
Oh no! Did you watch any of Rebels or Clone Wars or any of that stuff?
Back in the day, I did watch Clone Wars.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you something they've done the ending of Obi-Wan and Darth Maul's thing in Rebels, and it was epic, but it belonged in an Obi-Wan show and not a Rebels show. you have not seen this? You haven't seen this?
No,
bam! I'm
no.
gonna show him this. It's gonna blow his mind. He's gonna be, he's gonna like it. But so it's no point in putting Darth Maul in it because I mean you can give him a cameo, but the resolution of their character arc over the years has already been resolved. I am looking forward to Ewan McGregor because he did a great job in the prequels. For all the prequels' faults, he did a great job.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen deserves some more love than he got. I think fans' love of Star Wars blamed him for a lot of decisions that were outside his control.
Yeah.
You know, and when you watch Clone Wars and you see Anakin have this personality and this like different direction, it's almost jarring to see how he was directed in the prequels. But because Hayden Christensen can act, he can act. He's charismatic. He's not wooden. So, but I think I'm looking forward to him getting some love. You know what I mean? You ever see an actor didn't get the love they deserved? And,
yeah, I have.
And so like, I'm looking forward to him getting some love. I've always been a fan of yours. If you ever see this, probably won't. But if you ever see this, no Ant Gold is a fan and will be right there cheering you and tearing up when I see you come on screen. And look, don't have nobody punk Obi-Wan and punk Vader. Like these guys are the pinnacle of what's going on right now. So let the story be about them. Let it breathe. Make it make sense. Make it fit into the lore. And I'm happy. I'm happy. I want Disney. I want to support you. I want to buy merch. I want to buy Star Wars merch. Please give me a reason. Give me a reason to buy stuff from this show. Don't Boba Fett it. Don't Boba Fett it, please.
Oh man, look, you don't hurt my heart, man. I'm gonna talk about that. But yeah, we may be back to do an after show for that. That's up to Ant. We may bring somebody else that's a fan as well and go from there. So maybe the next thing we're gonna do discussions on is Obi-Wan. Let us know your thoughts.
Robes.
Ooh, we'll
get in it.
I might do that straight up. Like I'm down for it. But all right, you guys, we're out. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. You can get down to the description bar below. Follow us on our respective social medias, and we will be back much later. Thanks, you guys, so much for following along with us. Sorry it took so long. Peace, everybody.
Hey, Sam, are you still there?
Falling out the top of
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing